you chat?
Always. Hello.
Hey there.
How are you?
Mondays.
It's feeling Monday to me too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Even though it's so sunny.
I know. I truly did not sleep last night.
Why?
I have no clue. I woke up. First of all, I could fall asleep usually standing up. We turn off the lights. My husband's like, I'm going to sleep. I'm like,
Was it the ice cream, do you think?
maybe. I eat ice cream so I can't blame it on the ice cream because I eat ice cream daily.
Oh, okay.
Usually I fall asleep while my husband still has the lights on. We're laying there. I finished. Oh my God. I watched a documentary on Gotti. I'm in my mob
Who?
phase. John Gotti, the mobster.
Oh, right.
We finish it. He's like, can I turn the lights off? I'm like, yeah, totally. Weird. I'm not asleep, but sure. Turns the lights off. He falls asleep 2 seconds. I'm laying there. Rachel, almost an hour.
You're on your phone?
On and off. Like I kept trying to put my phone down. Laying there, not even tired. Not even a little tired. Finally sleep. And do you know what I do when I can't fall asleep? Did you know this? I redesign people's.
TikTok.
No, I redesign people's homes
with
my
your eyes
mind.
closed,
In my
yes.
mind. It's like how I fall asleep. I've done your house a couple times. I think you'd like what you've seen.
Did you get rid of things?
I did get rid of a few things, but
What?
we can discuss later. It's fine. It's just I did it last night because I was running out of houses.
Oh, okay.
Went to sleep, was up again at 1:30, was up again at 3, was up again at 5:50, and stayed up until then at 6:30. I fell asleep for 2 hours.
Why were you up all night?
No clue. But so anyways, now I'm exhausted,
Yeah. Gonna have to take a nap.
which I love.
Is it because you napped for too much yesterday?
I mean, I napped for like an hour.
Oh, really? That's not a lot for you.
Anywho's, and I have to go to the DMV later, so that's
what?
I have to, because I have to change my name on there. It still is my maiden name.
Oh. Did you make an appointment?
I did make an appointment, but here's the kicker. Because when we got married, I didn't just change my last name. I made my maiden name my middle name and got a new last name. It's a question mark if I'm going to be able to do my license without my social security card because both websites say you have to do the other one first. So I'm just picking the easier one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I did my social first.
Did you?
Yeah. It said on there you needed your like marriage certificate and passport.
Yes, but my marriage certificate has my maiden name.
That's how they all are.
But I mean, like, it doesn't, I've completely changed the name.
Oh.
Like my first, because your middle name is part of your first name.
Okay.
Legally.
Totally different person.
Totally, in their mind, totally different person.
Wow.
So wish me luck.
Yeah, when we got home last night, we watched, have you started that show on Netflix, Unlocked?
No.
You'd like it.
What's it about?
It's 60 Days in vibe.
Okay.
It's like a docu-series where they call it like the H block of this prison in Arkansas of like some of their most violent offenders.
Mm-hmm.
The sheriff has decided to implement this plan that he's like read about. He saw it at a conference somewhere because there's so much like fighting.
Are they getting dogs?
No, I wish.
I feel like they've shown that a lot. Okay.
Oh, I wish. No, I would love a documentary about that.
That's a thing. I bet there is one, but okay, go on.
Because there's so much crazy shit that happens and the guards are always like having to intervene. They call it 23-in-1. They're in their cells for 23 hours a day and out for an hour.
Damn.
Like they get meals in their cell.
How is that humane?
Exactly. And so they're saying like the inmates are like, it makes us even crazier, even angrier, like so that when we get out, they just like beat the shit out of each other. So anyway, it's an experimental program that the sheriff is implementing where it's no guards, no nothing. Cells are unlocked 24 hours a day. No one is there to tell you yay or nay.
Interesting.
They're obviously like monitoring, and if like things get crazy, they'll intervene. But
so it's more like summer camp than prison.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, they introduce you to like some of the main prisoners that they're going to follow. Tiny.
Oh, there's
East
always
Side.
a tiny.
Yep.
There's always a tiny, and he's never tiny.
This one is tiny.
Oh,
He's 5'3".
Interesting. I feel like this is tiny and this guy's like 6'7" and like 400 pounds. And you're like, okay.
He talks about how he had a pocket knife that he was given by an older cousin when he was like 7.
Yeah.
And he was walking home from school and he saw some kids in the neighborhood playing baseball. And he said, hey, can I play? And they said, absolutely not. You're too tiny. And he was
His life of crime began.
And he was like, ugh. So then he started to walk away and they were like, yeah, walk away, Smalls, like making fun of him. They threw a football that hit him in the head and he turned around and he said he stabbed that motherfucker until he was spurting.
So his life of crime did begin.
And then he said, and I've been stabbing motherfuckers ever since.
No, that's a sweet. It's like a Real Housewives intro. Oh, okay, Tiny.
Yes, but it's a really interesting concept.
We'll have to give it a go. I've been on my mobster era.
This is on that realm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I loved USA shows, so I watched White Collar. So I recently got Tyler, my husband, into watching that, which is not true crime. It's just good. And then I stumbled onto a documentary, a 3-part docuseries on John Gotti.
3 parts, you say?
It was actually good.
Really?
Yeah, it was on Netflix.
Okay.
So yeah, that was my scoop.
What else did we do this weekend? Oh, you worked.
I worked.
Not much to discuss.
No, we went to dinner last night. Dinner was fun.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about our supper club?
Sure. So we had supper club last night.
We've been doing supper club for the last like year.
No.
6 months.
Less because we only all picked once.
Oh right.
So 4 months.
Longer. But did we have to skip one?
Maybe. So 4 or 5 months, which was actually a ripoff from your cousin's friends, which I was like, we've got to rip this off because now we're all super busy adults and can't get together all the time. So we go to dinner once a month on a rotating basis with our close friends.
So yeah, 4 of us and our husbands. We all live probably like within a half hour of each other, but of course it's not that easy to just like pop over regularly in everyone's busy schedules. And so we started implementing Supper Club, which is once a month, always planned a month in advance.
Mm-hmm. I gotta send those texts.
Huh?
I gotta send texts to schedule next month.
We book them like a month out so that everyone can make it. And it just rotates through the 4 of us picking a new restaurant to try, like a favorite restaurant or a restaurant that none of us have been to.
We should have the guys pick next round.
Interesting thought. I worry.
Our reluctant producers and my husband, also known as
Buffalo Wild Wings. Here we come.
That's what's kind of fun. Texas Roadhouse. Anyone? Like the women have been picking very nice, like medium upscale.
Yeah, like we've been to like an Italian place, a Greek place, a seafood place.
They're like Taco Bell. I'm just kidding.
No, we went to a brewery.
A brewery. We did go to a brewery. Yeah.
Anyway, what I was going to say was, so yeah, we planned them like a month in advance, and the idea is that it's just like a one solid time to get together, unless of course like something comes up and we can't all make it. But yeah.
And we had someone cancel last night.
We did.
They are moving and they're a little crazed. And they didn't have something during Supper Club, which I appreciated that they didn't lie. They were just like, we've had a crazy week. We need a reset. And I want to normalize resets. Like, I am not that person. Like, I need to be hospitalized to bail on a plan, which is to my own detriment. Like, one time, do you remember? I literally came on our family trip to Madison and got everyone sick.
I do recall.
Because I was certain it was just allergies.
I don't know why you thought it was allergies. Didn't you have like the chills?
I was very sick the night before we left. I can now say. But what did I think I had? I took COVID tests.
No, you were like, it's a cold, but it's not COVID.
Yes, I knew. You're right. I'm on the opposite end where I never fucking cancel. But I so respect when people can just say like, I can't do this. I need to take time for myself.
There was something else I wanted to say about my weekend.
You went to Titanic?
Oh, yeah. There's not really much to say other than really great.
The boat sunk. Not much to say about Titanic.
The Titanic museum exhibit is a traveling exhibit, and it's in this area for like, I don't know, a month or something. And we had tickets to go see it.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
You did invite us.
Yeah.
I respectfully declined.
Which is just crazy. Like,
I don't know what else there's to say. It was a giant boat. It hit an iceberg. It went down.
listen to me though.
Okay.
It's so crazy. First of all, like, it's one of the earliest examples of human arrogance. The people who built this ship were like, this thing is unsinkable. It did not have enough lifeboats.
That is fucking nuts.
It didn't have enough. It had a quarter of the number of lifeboats to hold the number of people on the ship. They were like, this is unsinkable. The way that they built it, I'm not going to get too in the weeds on this.
Please don't. Yeah.
But the like bottom, you know, majority bottom of the boat where they are like shoveling coal to keep it running.
Moving.
You know how in the movie the doors like come down because they're like iceberg straight ahead and it fills up with the water.
Yeah.
So they built those doors to be waterproof tight so that when they come down, they're sealed at the bottom.
Didn't seal?
So no. So that like if water were to fill up, it wouldn't leak out the bottom. They didn't make it solid at the top.
Whoops.
So they didn't expect water to fill so quickly that it would go all the way up past to the top of these doors, and it just leaked right out.
I mean,
the ship took 3 years to build, and the entire thing sank in 2.5 hours.
But arrogance is no new thing. Like, look at the
Submersible.
Whatever. Submersible.
Look at that immersible.
Submersible. Same exact thing. Everyone is like, so we really don't think this is going to work. And
No,
like,
but people are like, that's the Titanic curse. And that thing was built with like PlayStation controllers or something.
But people are texting him like, we really don't think you should. And he's like, no, we're good. The fact that people, I'm sorry, I know we're pivoting off of your actual exhibit, but I still cannot believe people sealed themselves in that submersible.
Well, yeah, that's just absolutely insane.
But I'm glad you enjoyed the exhibit.
We were saying that, like, what is something that if you had like a once in a lifetime opportunity
to visit,
to do, that's like really, it's not like, you know, Eiffel Tower, like something that's really like exclusive, like going down to see the Titanic.
Does it involve time travel?
No. What?
Oh, it's like a real thing. I'm asking. I'm asking for the specifics. That is so hard. I don't know. Can it be like a celebrity experience?
No.
Well, I don't know.
Something like historical. Ugh, celebrity. You're like, go to see Kim.
No, I'm kind of off Kim. I'm trying to.
I was just saying.
What would you
like,
say?
A shipwreck is not something I'm interested in exploring in the least.
Maybe like a safari. I mean, that's not so exclusive.
Not really.
I don't know of anything that I'm dying to do that I would then risk my life for.
That it's like risky.
Or all of that money. Buy a house.
Yeah.
Those people were paying like $250,000 to go. They paid to die, which is just so upsetting. But like, buy a house.
It was interesting looking at the list of people who survived, because you get a little ticket at the exhibit of like, you know, someone's name, their background, whatever. And then at the end, you look at the list to see like the survivors and the people who didn't survive. And so you're obviously hoping that your person lives. But it was supposed to be women and children only.
Some men snuck in. And
there are like, there's so many men on there. Like, excuse me,
Thomas Smith,
why are you on this lifeboat?
Can you imagine? You're like getting on the boat and this guy's like, get the fuck off.
Yes, literally. It was also really sad to see like so many first class passengers survived.
And the lower classes didn't.
Yes, like the list just kept getting like longer and longer of the people who didn't survive as the classes went down. And a lot of, there were like, I guess, lawsuits after of people suing rich passengers. Like the family of people who perished sued some of the wealthier ones because they had paid people for their spot on the boat. Like, you'll get the next one.
Oh my God, that's some fucked up shit.
Isn't that horrible?
It's weird to think about people suing people back then.
See, isn't it really interesting, all these stories? Those are some of the things that we learned.
And I didn't have to go to the exhibit.
There's more. There's a lot more.
But wait, there's more. It's like a Titanic infomercial. Well, what I've learned today has been useful, so I appreciate that.
It's an interesting.
I'm not discrediting
tale.
the useful and interesting nature of it. I'm just saying I didn't need to go to an exhibit for it.
At the end of the exhibit, they had a thing about. Have you ever heard of like the Chicago East something or other, like the deadliest day in Chicago?
No. Was it the Chicago Fire?
No, it was a shipwreck.
Interesting.
I guess like Western Electric, I think it was called, was like a huge employer. This was like 4 years after Titanic, like
Damn.
late 19 teens. And they were having a huge company picnic. Like they had one every year where like a bunch of like the single guys who worked at the company would go, and then like people would invite friends who were single
it's like a
girls.
singles mixer.
Not just that, like it's like families would come, like bring their kids, whatever, but it was also like you could bring some other people. It was like the talk of the town, like the Western Electric
Ship
company outing. Yeah. So they like they would take a boat out to wherever, and they had done it a few years in a row, and the boat was tied to the dock on the Chicago River.
Yeah.
And it had like 1,000 something people on it. And when it was leaving, they didn't untie it.
Did it take the dock with them?
No, because the boat was another shittily built boat.
And you wonder why I worry about boats.
It was top heavy.
Just tipped right over.
And it flipped right over.
What a nightmare.
Insane. I guess George Hallis, who owns the Bears,
Yeah.
worked for Western Electric and was supposed to be at the outing that day. And
This timeline is so confusing to me. What year was this?
19 teens.
Isn't George Hallis, is he dead?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What's confusing here?
I don't know. I pictured George Hallis in his 70s, and I was like, the math isn't mathing.
No, George Hallis is long gone.
Got it. So
His like daughter Virginia is like 100 and something.
got it. Okay.
I think he was supposed to be on that boat and he didn't go because he like got sick or something.
Interesting.
And so, I mean, after all that, he founded the National Football League.
Wow. Boats really try and fuck us up.
But it was like
The water, as I've said before, I'm terrified of open water. It doesn't want us.
it does.
It doesn't. And
it beckons us.
It does not.
Come to the open waters.
Every time I hear these stories, I'm even more confident that the water says, stay where you are.
Oh, well, anyway, it was really interesting.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I didn't have to go, and I learned all the tidbits.
It's not all. I'll share more later.
Oh, okay. I'll have to circle back on that. All right. Well, there you have
Anything
it.
else to share with me?
No, I don't think so. We were together yesterday.
I mean, in terms of stories.
Oh, okay. Have you heard about all the drama over the years between Victoria Beckham and her daughter-in-law,
Nicola Peltz Beckham?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was crying, laughing this morning because she had a big 50th birthday party. Did you see Victoria did in London? It was Spice Girls reunion, whatever.
She brought like high fashion crutches.
Yes. And then she got carried out. So Nicola wasn't there. She didn't come. And there was a BuzzFeed article that was like, Nicola Peltz Beckham explains why she wasn't at the birthday party from, she's been burned before by the press saying it's because of a feud. So I'm like, oh, I'm curious what her reason was. Her reason? She was hanging out with her grandma.
That was her reason?
And I was like, you're going to release a reason, and the reason is you just were hanging out with your grandma?
Was her grandma ill?
I Googled, I didn't see anything. Even if her grandma is ill, they're wealthy enough to fly to London for the day. It's
Well,
not
yeah.
like she needs to go for 2 weeks.
Does she not live in London?
I believe they live in the US.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, I think they live in LA.
Is she American?
I don't know if she's American, but I think her family's based in Florida.
Oh.
Yeah, but anyways, I was dying. I was like, in the hierarchy of things that you're allowed to cancel for, it's like your mother-in-law's 50th birthday party is definitely more important than your grandma. Unless you live under a rock, you have seen the 248 articles about Taylor Swift's new album.
Dead Poets Society or something?
No, it's the Tortured Poet Club? Department. You know what? They definitely should have done some more market research on that
title. What does
title.
that even
It's
mean?
impossible to remember.
Yeah, it's awful.
But what I was going to say is, as a more mature woman, I do wish we could stop writing songs about people in such a what appears to me a petty fucking way.
Yeah.
It's getting to be a little weird.
Hundo P.
It's like, like, okay.
And then it's like, it's like, okay, yes, I like Taylor, of course. Like,
who doesn't? Catchy songs.
Yeah, catchy
Voice
songs.
of a generation.
But like, there's so much news about it. Like, her album's coming out. Then she dropped like a second
anthology
album. Yeah, like more. Just I had so much to say. I dropped more songs. Like, okay, wow, great, fine. Then it's like dissecting each line of the songs to like the Easter eggs. Like, who was Taylor talking about when she said "You left me unconscious"? I mean, I just made that up, but that would be like an Easter egg. Like, I don't know if she ever said that, but
we're just quoting here. I mean, we're making up quotes. But I'm like, everyone's like, I love how petty Taylor is. We're writing songs about Maddie Healy, and we're writing songs about Kim, and we're writing songs about Joel. When it's like,
okay, well, I'm here for writing songs about Kim.
I don't even care about. It's not even about Kim. I'm over Kim, but it's just petty. Like, there's no other word. Like, has she never heard the phrase "be the bigger person"? You did it. You won. Everyone knows that Kim was a snake. Everyone knows that Kanye was a loser. Like, be done.
Big time loser.
The huge loser. The more you keep harping on it, the less okay with it you appear.
Totally.
It's a little like, okay.
I know. And also, like, if you're like happy in this happy relationship, like,
just be happy. I'm happy for
happy
you.
People don't
kill their husbands,
as
Legally Blonde would say. They just don't.
As Elle Woods would say. I didn't want to give it too much of our time, but I was curious what you thought, because you were always a Taylor Swiftie. I'm a Swiftie, but I'm also everything in moderation. And
there's nothing
moderate about the exposure. It's like, is it just such a slow news time that like these writers,
nothing is going on? It's like OJ died and then Taylor Swift's album came out and everyone's like, nothing else.
Like, they just have to like be like, okay, and so on this album we're going to talk about this song and this specific lyric and a history of Taylor's friendships and how that might relate. Like, no.
Although I do really like the song The Alchemy.
Didn't listen.
It's good. I gotta say.
Not even listen.
It's a bop.
Is it?
It really is.
I have a couple interesting stories for you.
Ooh, tell me.
Did you see the video of the Uber driver
who got shot?
Yes. Crazy story. What city was it in?
It was in Ohio, Clark County, I think.
Okay. So apparently this like man in his 80s had been getting a bunch of scam phone calls being like, you owe us money, you owe us money, you owe us $10,000.
It was for his nephew's bail. Yeah. Allegedly,
yes. Like, if you want us to release him, then you have to give us the money, blah, blah, blah. And this old man was like, what? This sounds sketchy as hell. And they were like, we're going to send someone to go collect the money from you. And he's like, I'm not giving anyone any money. So a poor woman who got caught up in the scheme. Did you see it, producer? Oh, you didn't.
Dark.
You didn't share.
No.
A poor woman who got caught up in the scheme was like hired as an Uber driver to go just pick up a package from this man's house.
Which I didn't even know you could do. I didn't know you could use Uber as like a carrier.
Yeah, because like Uber Eats.
I guess. Okay.
So these scammers like request an Uber. They're like, go to this house and just please pick up a package here and bring it here. So she goes to this man's house. We don't have footage because it was recording from her
camera.
Uber, like her dash cam. We don't have footage of her like ringing the bell, but we have footage of her walking back to the car and like backing away from the man who is holding a gun up to her.
Yep.
Who's obviously like, I'm not paying you, scammer lady. And she's like, whoa, like I was just sent here to pick up a package. And he's like, I'm not going to pay you. Get off my property. And she's like trying to get back in her car. While trying to get back in her car, he shoots her a couple of times.
Multiple times, yeah.
And she dies.
Yeah. It's terrible.
And so the man is now being charged with murder. And he tells the police, I was a part of this scam. In the video, you actually see the cops at his house the scammers call him to say, like, did you get the money?
And he answers, and then the police get on and are like, no, this is the police. They're pretending to be the police.
Right. They're like, hi, yeah, this is an officer. And they're like, an officer of what? And they're like, this is the officer. And the police at the house are like, this is an actual officer. We're with the Clark County Police. Who are you? We're here with whatever. Do you know this driver? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, okay, well, there's been an accident.
So sad.
They hang up. This woman is like not a part of their scheme at all. She was just like an Uber driver.
The video's so sad.
And so now it's kind of like, who's at fault? Because the old man.
I mean, they're both at fault for different things.
Who are you talking about?
The scammers are at fault.
Oh yeah, they're trying to track down the scammers. They should obviously be charged with her murder for getting her involved in this. But this old man, like, he's holding like an old ass, like Western style handgun. No, it does look like
Clint Eastwood came out of the house. Gran Torino. It's insane.
Yes, like, and he's like, get back in your car. Like his like but shaking hand.
Like, I don't feel bad for him. I really don't. And I know I'm supposed to.
Yeah, like, sir, you belong in jail. I'm sorry. You can't just shoot people who come to your house for a package. She wasn't threatening you.
Yeah, like, she had no point. Like, you can see in the video, she's backing away. Like, it'd be one thing if the scammer showed up and were, like, threatening him and he shot them. I'd be like, you got what you got. She's saying, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I just came here to pick up a package. And it, again, part of the video we don't have. Thankfully, I'm glad they didn't publish her actually being shot. But yeah. Leading up to the shooting, he's approaching her and she's fully backing away. Yeah. So like, bye.
And he's like threatening. He doesn't believe her. Like he's threatening her. Like, if you guys call me again, she's like, I don't know what you're saying, but I'll cancel the. And then he just kills her in his driveway.
I do not feel bad for him at all.
Me neither. Like, I feel bad that like elderly people are being scammed. Obviously,
so many elderly people are scammed, and guess what? They don't shoot anyone.
Have you heard what they're doing with AI? As a side note, these scammers are using your voice to call like grandparents, but also parents. And you're like, Mom, hi, Mom.
No.
Yeah.
The world is getting
and they're
too
saying
weird.
Like, I need you to send money to this place. Like, this person is holding me hostage.
It's sick.
Isn't that sick? And so they're saying that you should have a code word.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. You should have a code word with like your close friends and family that if they ever get a call, they're like, okay, what's the code word?
My mom.
And you never speak it out loud because your phone will hear you.
We all know my mom here is like very.
Oh my gosh. I was thinking your mom would be the last person ever to get scammed. Like if she got a call. And they do it like they hack into your shit so they know like you're in Mexico. Oh. This literally just happened. It was a story. This couple was in Mexico.
Fucking nuts.
And the guy's dad gets a call like from him saying like, Dad, we're in Mexico. We're in trouble.
No.
And the dad is like, what? So he sends all this money to this like random account, wires the money. Then he's like, we need more money. It's the craziest thing. But I was like, if this happened to your mom, she would be like, I need more proof.
No, my mom literally growing up, I had a code word. Like if anyone came to pick me up, even if I knew them, they had to know the code word.
What was it?
I don't remember, but like my mom was always
really good code word.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I'm 32. I've had to make room for some other things. But like I want to say it was actually her grandma's maiden name, which you know is her Wi-Fi password. So
yeah,
she loves that one.
That's not something anyone could ever make up.
But my mom was like so neurotic about that sort of stuff. Like she'd be like, even if there's someone you know, if ever someone says I've sent them, you need to get the code word. And I felt like, are we living in a spy novel? And nowadays I'm like, nah, she was onto something.
Neighbor across the street who you know comes to get you and they're like, hey, your mom said she's running behind, she wanted me to pick you up, and you're like, code word please. No, like, Jesus.
My mom was the queen of like, you cannot trust anybody.
You really can't.
And as I get older, I more and more I'm like, you cannot trust anybody.
But I really like, as someone who like is aware of these scams, I don't know what I would do. Like if you were on a trip. Yes. No, but listen, if you were on a trip with your husband in Mexico.
Totally. You'd be scared.
And I get a call from some random number. First of all, I screen random numbers. Yeah. Like if I don't know your number, I'm not answering. They leave a message that's like, hi, I'm calling from a random number. Call me back. So then you're like, oh shit. Like they must have lost their phone or something. You call back that number. Answers and it's like, hi, it's me. And I'm like, hi. And you're like, I need help. Like it's like, because someone is actually listening and then just playing your response. So they're like,
Get a real job. I'm so sorry. If you were talented
But
enough.
what am I supposed to do? You're like, they need $10,000 or else they said they're going to kill us.
But if
I would be like, holy shit.
First of all, we will discuss a code word offline.
Okay.
Second of all, I'm so sorry. If you were talented enough to be orchestrating these sort of scams, get a fucking job.
Yeah, you could probably be getting paid a lot of money.
Just get a job.
More than your scam money.
I could not figure out this scam. If someone put a gun to my head right now and said, and I'm an incredibly smart person, let's all agree. If someone put a gun to my head right now and was like, you need to scam old people with AI, I would be done. I wouldn't even know the first place to start. So if you are right now out there running these sort of scams, just go get a job. Make an honest living. Pay your taxes.
But what are you supposed to do?
Code word.
If you don't have one.
I think in that instance, you're supposed to, and I remember this from years ago, someone in my office's parents got scammed. Their niece or nephew, obviously AI was not a thing at this time, but their grandparents or their parents were getting scammed by someone calling, being like, hey, your nephew's been hurt. He's at a hospital. He doesn't have his insurance card. We need to send money, whatever.
Yeah.
And so they called my coworker frazzled, being like, I can't get the money there. I don't know how to do it. And they were like, let's just call him really quick and see if he answers. And so they called him and he was like, that's not me. I'm fine. I'm at work. So I think before you do anything, you just like say, hang on 1 second and call the real person.
Okay. And if they don't answer?
I still think you have to wait because it's such a convoluted, like that is not happening.
But does that happen to people? They are holding someone hostage and then they get their money and release them?
No.
Oh, okay.
You ever watched Criminal Minds?
I've not watched Criminal Minds.
Well, you're lost, but still. And honestly, my unprofessional advice now is if that's happening to you, your first call should be to the police. Either it's a scam or the people calling you need the police. You know what I mean? Like it's a win-win. Either you're like, I don't know where my friend is, but I got this call that they've been kidnapped.
You're just like, hang on 1 second. You three-way 911. Like,
where's your emergency?
Yeah.
Click.
I'm like, hi, I'm on the phone. I'm not sure if I'm being scammed. What is a dispatcher supposed to do, though?
Well, that's like what you're supposed to do if you ever are getting pulled over and you don't feel like it's like an unmarked car. It's in like a sketchier area. You're supposed to call the police. You can drive slowly with your hazards on and you call the police and you say, I'm on, Winston Road. I think I'm being pulled over. I just want to confirm it's a police officer. And the dispatcher will run in because they're supposed to call in their stops. Yeah, that's fucked up that they're scamming old people though, but like, I mean, come on.
Be on alert, old people.
No, seriously. Don't scam old people. Scam like millennials.
I know.
They're so cynical already, they won't even care.
Literally.
If someone tried to scam me, I'd be like, no, okay.
Good one.
Thank you.
Good one.
Did I tell you about this new concept that like we've put life behind a paywall?
No. But I believe it.
It was interesting. So I stumbled on this article where a woman was talking about, it's a TikToker, but she was saying the reason so many people are more depressed and like need to be in therapy and all of these sort of things is we've made just the human experience behind a paywall. So like kids used to play in the neighborhood. You just come home after school, you'd play games. Now every kid is scheduled. So parents have to pay for these activities. And like you used to just like go on a walk with your friends or like get exercise by like being a part of a rec league. But now everyone has joined a gym. And like to make things convenient, you're paying for Uber Eats and you're like scheduled to hell and you're doing like a Target pickup.
Scheduled to hell, literally.
And so she was basically saying like we have made it so isolating that like just to have your human needs met, you have to have money.
Yep.
And it's depressing the fuck out of people.
Totally.
And at first it was so interesting because when I first clicked on it, I was like, I don't know if I necessarily agree. And then I was like, oh my God, by the end of it, I was like, you're totally right.
You were realizing like.
I was realizing like everything that we do is like paid for. Like there's very few experiences that we just go and have that don't require us to pay.
Totally free. Like
taking your son to the park, I think is the last thing I did.
Taking your dog on a walk.
Yeah. But she literally said, as Americans, we've removed everything we actually need in daily life, like exercise, talking to friends, connecting with people, spending time with our kids. We've taken all of that naturally occurring things out of life and made it so those things can only be achieved by an activity that we have to pay for or therapy, which you also pay for.
Literally. I mean, those like play cafes are popping up everywhere.
Oh my God, yeah.
And it's like, especially in areas where the climate is not nice year round, like play cafes are so popular because they're like just indoor playgrounds with like areas for parents to kind of like sit
Hang
and
out.
watch their kids play, and you can usually grab a coffee there somewhere, like, and so, but they're obviously not free like parks are.
Mm-hmm.
They cost money, and so to be able to take your kid, like to get out of the house, let's say you're a stay-at-home mom, to get out of the house with your kid and take them to go run around, meet other kids, play with them, and you can just like sit and watch them have a good time, costs a minimum of $15.
Which is crazy.
Yes.
No, I was like, I read it and I was like, oh, this is so strange. And she was like, nowadays, like my kids come home and they want to do an activity and it's like, okay, well, I have to pay for basketball. No one's
Right.
just playing basketball in our neighborhood.
No.
And it's like, okay, so you literally have removed just the joy of doing things.
Yeah, you can't do it. I mean, especially with how expensive everything is too. Like if it wasn't so expensive to do all of that, maybe it would be a little different. Like if it was just a small little paywall, like a pay curb.
Yeah, a pay curve, a pay speed bump.
Yes, then like maybe it wouldn't be so
Yeah.
bad, but like everything is so. The other day we looked at ordering poke bowls for dinner. Like I was like, oh, I could throw in like, I think I have a frozen thing from Trader Joe's and then like whatever, and I was like, or I could just order poke bowls to pick up. Guess how much?
$65.
55
I know, because we order poke bowls.
for dinner
It's
for
insane.
2
Yeah,
poke bowls.
it's crazy.
It's not even that much food.
And honestly, I feel myself becoming my mom when she used to be like, we have food at home. It's like, I'm like, fuck, we have food at home.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But I don't know if that's capitalism, like, or if things are just worse than ever.
Both horrible options.
Do you know what I mean, though? Is that just like, okay, well, that's like the cost of doing business. and
No,
it's a
I
free-
mean, I think inflation has gone like so high, but it really has gotten to a place where it's like, why in the world? Like it used to be like, well, you spend a little bit more than you would getting food at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Like you spend a little more for convenience and time saving to pick up food somewhere else, you
Right.
know? But like, if you don't want to pick up at like McDonald's or Taco Bell,
which is killing you from the chemicals. So
of course.
it's
I
a
mean,
great
even
time to be alive.
Chipotle,
Oh, yeah.
just for like 2 burrito bowls, it's like, you know, you're not getting out of there for less than $30.
Do you remember when Wendy's a couple of like months ago was trying to do that dynamic pricing?
Yes.
And then they were like, we're kidding.
Yeah,
No.
people flamed them.
What the fuck?
Insane.
We are hemorrhaging money out here.
Like, I don't know how these poke bowl places are staying in business though, because it's like when I'm looking at ordering 2 poke bowls or just like eating the edamame that's in my freezer, I'm like, well, that like I obviously bought the edamame at the grocery store, but this feels free.
But here's what I'm going to say. Poke bowls, it's like, I can't make a poke bowl at home. Can you?
No, but I'll save the $55.
We're a captive market.
You are, at least.
I am. I'm captive.
One other thing that I wanted to mention,
Yeah.
speaking of people not having enough money for things,
Mm-hmm.
homelessness. It's a big old problem in Portland.
Huge problem in Portland.
Did you know that?
I knew it was a huge problem in Portland. Yeah.
I mean, it's a big problem in
Everywhere.
metro
Yeah.
areas everywhere, but Portland, I guess, this whole thing started a few years ago when a man got a ticket for sleeping on a park bench. Like the park was closed after sunset. He was sleeping on the bench, etc. He then got like another ticket for not paying his ticket.
Like,
and this is
come
happening
on.
to homeless people everywhere. Like they're like racking up tickets for sleeping in places, being in places where
Which it just feels like, read the room. Like,
right.
they don't have anywhere to sleep, so they're definitely not paying the fucking ticket.
Right. And I think like, what is the point of that?
Yeah.
But anyway, so this homeless man, like, I guess, you know, I don't know how he had the resources, but got in touch with an attorney and they sued the city for issuing him a ticket when he's homeless. And it started this big case. It's going to Supreme Court of the state, the Oregon Supreme Court. So it's going to like their highest court of whether or not homelessness is legal or not. And their point was that the city, calling itself a city, means that you have to provide a dwelling.
Okay.
You have to provide a place for people to reside, sleep, eat, etc. Like there have to be a few of these things. And by banning homelessness, you're not a city. Like you don't get the benefits of being a city, the etc. And the homeless people are saying we're sleeping on a park bench because there aren't enough beds in shelters for us to sleep on, and so you're not providing
the
services. And then it came, even more in the weeds, it came down to people who are intentionally homeless versus unintentionally. So there's people who like are looking for beds and there aren't spaces, and then people who do not want beds,
right,
and prefer to sleep on the streets,
right.
And that's kind of where it gets a little like dicey because like, yes, of course, people who would want to be in a homeless shelter, like we have to find a place for them, but it's the people who are refusing services that are available to them and using.
So they're going to criminalize that or just make it illegal?
They're going to make it illegal.
Will it carry, I don't know if you know the answer to this. So like you're homeless, let's say this passes and you are homeless, what happens?
I think you could go to jail.
Well, like,
but don't quote me.
It seems crazy to criminalize something.
No, you know what? I think they were going to kick them out of their city.
Like ship them somewhere else. I mean, I just feel like to criminalize something, it's one thing to criminalize something that is illegal and harmful and people are choosing to do. To criminalize something people are misfortunate enough to be experiencing feels like we're in the fucking Hunger Games. It'd be like saying this might be a stretch, but I feel like it's literally being like criminalizing cancer. Like, sorry, you were misfortunate to have cancer.
That's not the same.
There are some people who find themselves in homelessness, experiencing homelessness, actually. I just learned that phrase. You know what it honestly is? It's like criminalizing being laid off. I didn't pick this. They laid me off.
That's what they're saying, though, for the people that are choosing to still be homeless.
But that's such a crock because even if you're like staying in a shelter and bouncing between places, that's still not ideal.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fucking people who don't like the way the homelessness population looks, but they don't want to pour the money into the resources. But put your money where their mouth is. It
has gone to the Supreme Court, the actual Supreme Court. That was wrong. It's going to the actual Supreme Court.
Yeah, I don't see a play on this. Like, nobody wants to be homeless.
To weigh bans on sleeping outdoors. So if there's a ban on it, what will happen to you? It doesn't say. Supposed to decide the case by the end of June. Yes, I agree, but like there are people, they were saying that in this article, they were saying that people who choose to be homeless, a lot of them obviously have mental health issues. Yeah. And so that's a whole nother sect of people who are not receiving services that they need. Like it's not just like homeless shelters. Yeah. They need like
mental health advocates and
yes, like perhaps those people don't need to be in a homeless shelter, but more so like a
facility,
inpatient mental health facility. So yeah, I thought you would have an interesting take on that because I know you do a lot of advocacy.
I don't know if I do a lot of advocacy, but I do an event every year for an organization that provides services for youth that are experiencing homelessness. And I do have a lot of feelings, and my feelings are that's fucked up. To criminalize something that people are, it's quite literally the phrase kicking someone when they're down. Like if you want to bring it up to the Supreme Court to have more funding for services, please do.
So yeah, those were the hot topics that I wanted to share with you on this call.
Thank you for keeping me informed.
I did have a daily dilemma if you want to do one quickly.
I do. I love them.
Okay, so this was a real one that someone posted in a Facebook group I'm in.
I love those.
Which you've got some good stuff here.
No, they're great. The Facebook groups are great. The mom Facebook groups, the city ones.
This girl posts, guys, I need some advice from those of you in the corporate world. I'm almost 39 years old and I haven't shaved my armpits since I was in my 20s.
Go on.
And I haven't shaved my armpits since I was in my 20s. This is a girl.
Yeah.
You got that?
Okay. I got that.
I just recently landed a high-paying job where I'll need to be in the office 4 days a week, which I haven't done since way before COVID. My question is, do you think I need to start shaving my underarms? I previously hadn't really given a shit because I was younger and not getting paid enough to even care, but I'm trying to be a little more grown up now. I just bought some nice clothes and reorganized my closet and shoes. I do have some sleeveless tops, and I want to be taken seriously at this company and hopefully even one day get promoted. Do you think anyone cares? Be real with me.
I have so many thoughts. 39 is a curious age to start feeling grown up.
Agreed, but like she's got this, like she's landed this big corporate job, big time magazine editor.
Good for her, Jenna Rink. Yeah, I think you have to shave your armpits.
You do?
I do. I think it's a personal hygiene thing, no?
Well, men don't shave their armpits. Are they all just unhygienic? Yes.
I guess. I mean, maybe it's just...
I do kind of feel like it's just like that is a part of being a woman. You know, like...
Is it wrong? Maybe, but like...
It's unfortunately, you will, like a lot of people said, like, I hate that it is this way, but you will be judged for it. I'm not sure that you would get a promotion because of your hairy armpits.
I was totally with her not shaving them until she got to the sleeveless shirts. My whole thing is if you don't want to shave, just don't show your armpits.
Well, I mean, a few people said, like, some people said that they feel like sleeveless, even like sleeveless tank work tops, they feel are inappropriate in the corporate world.
Yeah, probably.
What?
I would agree. I think I mean, I don't agree with that being so, but I think that probably
Are you like a white man from the 1800s? No tank tops?
Not me.
Do not show your arms,
No,
ladies.
I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm saying I think it is still taboo. But I don't honestly show my arms ever.
Okay, we're not talking about your arms.
I'm just saying, like, I show my arms, but I don't show, like, I'm not, like, in a work setting, I don't wear tank tops.
That's you, though. We're talking about people in general.
I'm saying it's an easy thing to get around. If you don't want to shave your armpits, just don't wear those tops.
Well, that's what people were saying. They were like, if you really don't want to, then just don't wear sleeveless or even short sleeve. Because if you lift up your arm at all...
I think you could wear, like, short sleeve that's a little longer.
But like if she's like reaching for, you know, a coffee mug on a high shelf and you see her armpit hair, I'm not going to be like, I want that lady to be my boss.
Really?
She can't even shave her armpits.
I don't know if it's a qualifier. I just think it's like odd. And I'm sorry that it's a stereotype, but like, it's just not.
It really is like, just like that is part of being a woman. I'm sorry. Like women are expected to be
armpit shaven.
Yeah, like shaved armpits, and you just have to keep like a stiff upper lip and smile through it. Stiff upper labia.
I mean, and I don't even feel like shaving your armpits is like, I wouldn't like, it would bug me, I feel like.
Also,
not about me. I know. I'm just making myself empathize with her.
But like, it was interesting seeing people's comments because I thought people were gonna be like, don't worry about them. You go, girl. Like, and people were saying, like,
Sweetie, we hate to tell you.
I hate to be that person, but like, yeah, I think you do have to shave them. They were like, either shave them or just don't wear anything with short sleeves.
It's like you have to shave your legs too.
Well, like, I think you can like get away with just wearing pants or skirts with tights.
Yeah.
Like if you don't, she said, P.S. I don't shave my legs either, but that's not hard to hide. This woman is just an au naturel kind of gal.
Yeah, good for her.
But
well, yeah. I mean, I don't feel
But it made me think, dilemma wise. Let's say you had
an employee
working for you guys.
Yeah.
And they started as part-time.
I wouldn't care.
Wait.
Okay.
They are really great. They only do like, you know, a few things for you, but everything they do has been great. And they're like, I want to take on more responsibility. I want to come do this full time. I want to be client facing. No shave armpits. And
I wouldn't care. I would say to them, I think when you're client facing, you have to determine if it's going to deter your success client facing.
But it is a reflection of your company.
Yes. But I would want them to make that decision themselves. Like I would say, like, I don't have a problem with it, but people are going to, and it might impact your success when client facing.
But it's going to affect your company. Like if I'm working with you guys and you're like, yeah, and this is
patchouli
Tabitha
oil.
And Tabitha this is patchouli oil. She's going to be working with you from here on out. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. Patchouli oil. This is me and this is what I'm interested in. And she's like, let me just grab a stack of papers.
Would you not want to work with her?
No, but I'm just saying she lifts up her arms
Yeah.
and has really hairy armpits. And I would just be like, holy cow, is this like a really granola style company I'm working with? Granola's not my vibe.
But now I'm starting to think like, do we just, I mean, I know the answer to this. Like, why are we so hard on women?
I'm telling you.
Let women live. I've changed my whole mood. Like, let women live.
The amount of times that we do a daily dilemma that then
I change my mind.
That you change your mind.
Because the more you know.
You haven't learned anything else.
No, I'm learning right now.
Okay.
Like, let women live. Like, if it doesn't impact her actual work, what the fuck do we care?
I know, but it's just like, it feels like maybe like, and it's not this, but it feels like it could be a reflection on like.
Maybe she has sensitive skin.
Oh, for God's sakes. It feels like maybe it could be a reflection on like her personal hygiene habits. You know, like it doesn't necessarily mean that, but that's like maybe an assumption someone might come to. And then you're like, that's not what we want.
I'm torn.
From the male perspective?
Women are always right.
No. From the male perspective, let's say you're in the position of promoting some people and one of the people is a hard worker, just as hardworking as a couple of the other people, but she does not shave her armpits. And it's just kind of an office thing, like, you know,
Sure. I would say from a male perspective, I mean, obviously men have a lot more opportunities to show bodily hair, beards, etc. But typically, if you're not trimming it in any way, then that is sort of a negative way, especially in a corporate workplace. A negative against you, like you're not keeping your appearance. And I think that if a woman did the same thing, you know, women sleeveless tops I feel like are a little more prevalent, and shorter sleeved tops. I think that's something, you know, you don't have to shave your armpits, but maybe just keep it trimmed.
In the same, would you feel the same way about, like, let's say it was a guy who like his armpit hair was like sticking out of his polo?
Yeah, I think that's just a sign of a poor kind of hygiene and poor like
Exactly.
keeping of your body hair for sure.
Keep it trim. That's the world we're in.
No, it's an interesting point. Like, my husband has a beard, and if it was like not well kept, it would be like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, like you don't look professional. You look dirty and disgusting.
Okay, well, that's extreme, but
No, I'm just saying, like, unruly body hair is like not for the workplace.
yeah, okay. But I still think it's fucking ridiculous that women have to do more upkeep. The pink tax, ever heard of her?
Yes, I know. I mean, I felt bad for this woman because she was like very much like, thank you guys so much for your honest opinions. Like, I am going to start shaving my armpits because I understand that, like, even though to me it doesn't feel like it's an important thing to do, like, I don't want that to be reflected on how people see me.
Oh, well, this woman's sweet. I hope she gets a promotion.
Me too.
Good luck.
Shave those pits, gal.
Good
It's not
luck.
so bad.
Good luck out there. I wish you
Maybe
well.
get them laser. Oh no, that totally goes against what she's
Believes.
like. I want armpit hair.
Yeah. Lasering means it won't ever come back. And if this corporate gig doesn't work out, I want her to be able to return to her roots.
Exactly.
Wow. Well, thanks for bringing that to our table.
Just another daily dilemma.
Well, thanks for calling.
Thanks for chatting. I'll call you later.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.